pills to join. And I'll put in my info. Come on. Where's it going like that now? There we go. Oh yeah, I'm gonna go get my pillow. Be right back. Yeah, and yeah. Okay. Hi, Finesse. How's it going? Yo, yo, yo. What's up? What's up, dog? How are you doing? Hi, Nightmare. Hi, Finesse. Yo, yo, yo. Hey, hey, hey. I'll put in my information. How's everyone doing? Hot day, man. It's 90 degrees. Thank you for the gift. Thank you very much, Kyle. How are you doing? I'm doing. Well, that's good. Hope you guys are staying cool if it's hot where you live. Not a big fan of this hot weather unless I get to go to the beach where it's like 70 degrees. Otherwise, it's just like bleh, bleh. And little, my back hurts. So let's put in that information. Hi, Cyril. Hi, Gaminator. I was playing Subnautica today. It's a fun game. Usually, I'm not really into games where you have to swim a lot. I didn't really particularly like the swimming level in Zelda or Ocarina of Time. Remember the level where you have to swim a lot? But I figured this would be like better in terms of just the flow. It won't be as much of a pain in the ass. It was actually really fun. Hi. Love Subnautica, one of my favorites. Have you played the second one? I have the second one, but I just started the first one. So I'll play the second one when I'm done with the first. You think the second one's a lot better? Probably don't have to play them chronologically, but I'm just gonna do it that way. Just gonna share my information here. Oh man, this actress, the actress who played in Godzilla vs. King Kong, maybe it's the other way around. I haven't seen that movie, but I just found that she passed away from like a car accident. And I watched this one clip of her in the movie, and she's actually deaf in real life. She's really good, or was really good. Seemed like a sweet person. Okay, let me share my info. Can you write Gia on a piece of paper? Why do you want me to do that, Margarita? I'm curious. I like to know why. Fine, I'll do it for what? Is this like a trend or something? I'll do it for what it's worth. I don't know why I'm doing it, but I'll do it. Oh man, it's a shitty piece of paper. Mother ducker, man. Just don't have a really good surface here to write on. There we go. There you go. Okay. All right. Just gonna share my information here, guys. wants to commission me for art, that's cool. If not, that's cool. All right. Hey. Hey, Dawn, how are you doing? Family? What do you mean? Family, if you're asking how my family's doing, they're doing okay. Is it my birthday? No. My birthday's in February, when the weather is a little more pleasant than it is today. Actually, that's around the time I'm getting tired of the winter time. That's when it starts to, when it's been 4 months of cold. I'm like, when's it gonna be summer? And then when it's this hot, I'm like, when's it gonna be winter? I guess we're all kind of like that sometimes. I mean, I like having the seasons. I like a little variation, but I don't like extreme temperature at all. Discord. By the way, a lot of my artwork is on my Instagram if you'd like to check that out. I always throw these in here. I don't use X that often, but I'm probably gonna start using it more. So I'll share that too. My Discord is emerald_wing_13473. And since it's that hot, the reason why I was going to mention that is because I'm probably going to have a much shorter live stream this evening. Just because it's so fucking hot, man. Okay. And my X, I suppose I'll share that. And, one seckaroo, guys. One minute. I'm back. Sorry. Okay. Alright, there it is. And I will... Wait a minute. Did I put my Instagram there? I did not. You know what? I'm gonna... One sec, guys. My bad. I wanted to share my Instagram with you. It's a little more important than the X because I hardly ever use that anyway. And you can see some of my art if you'd like to. And Cash App, PayPal, and Discord. I'll just share the same as what I usually do. Okay. So it's going to be Shando the Dowd. And then my Discord. And Merald_wing_13473. Thank you for the donation, Nick. My Instagram. Oops. There we go. And Katrina.art. Cool. Nice. I sure hope I didn't make a typo there because I can hardly see what I'm reading here. Did I get it? And so, okay, Anna.Katrina.art, Emerald, 13473, Shamble the Dowd. Alright, cool beans. Hi. I'm not trans, but whatever. Hi, Nick. Thank you. I wonder why people do that. I mean, it's weird. Yeah, I don't do a lot of Instagram. The only thing I use it for is to post my artwork. I tend to become hyper fixated on one little thing at a time. I'm getting better at that though. Thank you for the gift. Thank you very much, Christopher. Hi, Alex. Hi, Sir Shakir. Hi, Ian. Lazy trolls, no effort for sure. Thank you, Christian. Christopher, I mean. Sorry. Hi, Flynn. Sending love and support from, again, Lachaman vlog. Bingo Warriors, Team Bingo Warriors. Well, hello there, Tara. Hope you're doing good. Hey, Josh. Hi, Ann. Love you and praying for you in the mighty name of Jesus. Thank you. That's what's up, man. Thank you. Do I like Pumbaa cake? Are you talking about, like, a cake that looks like the warthog from The Lion King? That's my favorite Disney movie, actually. Always has been. Actually, before that came out, my favorite was Cinderella, and I remember that. But then when The Lion King came out, and we started watching that movie, I liked that one more. When did it even come out? I was probably like 4 years old when that came out too, so I must have remembered being 3 years old watching Cinderella at one point. Because I know when I was really little, I loved Cinderella, and then I was all about The Lion King. It's all I cared about. 1994. So no, I was 3 years old when The Lion King came out. Maybe I saw it like a year later because I didn't see it in the theaters, but my big brother did. I don't know. It's a good movie. It's epic. Time's up. I'm sorry. Time's up for what? What does heroin feel like? Oh, God. Well, I don't want to trigger people here. My goal of being here is to try to encourage people and inspire people to resist that or get clean or, you know, combat cravings or whatever. But I'll just be honest and say it. If you don't want to feel anymore, if life is so fucking bad that you just don't want to feel anymore, you want to feel like you're in a feel-good bubble all the time, in a shroud of just, you know, just feeling good. It's hard to explain, man. It really is. Let me Google this and see how other people would describe it on Reddit. But it's definitely not worth it. And that's only short-lived. I mean, you're gonna have like the nodding out, and you're gonna just feel really, I don't care about anything. Once that honeymoon phase is over and your tolerance is really, really high, which you'll get there fast, it eventually it's almost like you're just, every single time you use, or most of the times that you're gonna use, you're gonna it's just gonna make it so you don't feel sick anymore. You're not gonna feel the same high you used to feel when you're starting out. Let me see what people on Reddit say about it. So I've heard some people describe it as being in like a warm bath, but I don't know if that's very accurate. Some people describe it as like a hug. It doesn't feel like a hug. It doesn't feel like a hug to me. Just makes it so you don't care about anything anymore. And it makes it so that you just sort of nod off into oblivion. Yeah, I mean, anyone who's been on it could tell you that it's very pleasurable, but that doesn't really last forever. It doesn't last for a long time. It's not gratifying. Really nothing good about it. Let me see. It's Reddit. Animation depicting what addiction feels like. Oh, that's interesting. Here's an animation depicting what addiction feels like. Let's see what you guys think of this. You guys want to watch this with me? There's a tiny little, simple little animation of what addiction feels like, apparently. Looks like a kiwi. One of those birds without wings. Okay. What was that? Oh. Alright. Get it? Kinda like Shando's kabump. Oh. Found something. There you go. Oh, okay. Yeah, walking faster. Okay. Yep, then he needs more. There he goes. Falls right on his caboose. I mean, if I happened to be born a bird that can't even fly, I'd be pretty depressed too. I'd be like, what gives? Thank you for the corgi. That is one chubby corgi. Thank you. That's a cute corgi. There he goes again. Looks like he's getting neck rolls from that. I don't know why. What the hell's going on with him, man? Oh man, now he's just losing it. Now he can't even hold himself together. Now he can't, yeah, it's like a succubus. It lures you in, and before you know it, you've completely lost yourself. There you go. Perfect. No, this is perfect, guys. This is what will happen. This is what will happen. You'll lose it. You'll lose yourself. You will lose yourself, and then all the other things you used to enjoy won't be so enjoyable anymore. You'll be tethered to that chain to it. Poor thing. I feel sorry for the little animation. I actually do. It makes me sad. Now he's just walking around like a fiend in the night, looking for his drugs. Poor baby. Oh. I want to hug him. No, seriously, like, this is really sad. Yeah. That was sad. That's addiction for you. That's addiction to heroin for you right there. That's perfect. Absolutely perfect. I like that. This is what addiction feels like. Yep. But the F, am I watching LOL? Even the low key, I like the cartoon. Yeah, it is good. It's not my cartoon, by the way. I wish I could make cartoons. I think I'd have a lot of fun with that if I knew how to do it. I have an Artist 2R Pro. I wonder if I could use that to make cartoons. Like, I wonder how Meat Canyon makes his cartoons. Yeah, you fiend for the geek bar. Yeah, I am a kind of, that's my one vice, really. I do like my black coffee in the morning, but I don't know, well, I guess you'd call it a vice, because I do like to have it in the morning, but, I need to stop vaping, man. Sean Lennon and Les Claypool just came out with a new song called Meat Machine. Oh, cool. I didn't know that John Lennon's son was making music, actually. I thought he wanted to be out of the spotlight for whatever reason. I see him in interviews sometimes. I don't usually see him, like following in his father's footsteps exactly. That's pretty cool. Black coffee does matter. And also it's good for your liver. There's good things with black coffee. Just don't want to overdo it. Or I don't want to overdo it, otherwise I'm going to feel like a nervous wreck. 2 cups. The cold reality of weed paranoia every once in a while still hit. Yeah. For me, weed's okay as long as I only do it before bed, at night. As long as I don't start my day out with it. And then it's kind of like, sometimes when I do that, I end up going back to sleep until like 2 or 3 p.m. if I've got nothing to do. And I don't like doing it if I'm talking to people or, you know, socializing, because it messes up my speech coordination. And that, it makes me sound stupid. And I don't like that. Hi, Shake Shake. Hi, Eric Cochran. How are you doing? The lazy algorithm. How are you doing? Hi, Inspired for Life. Officer McKinley. Okay. The heck, man. We're not here to glamorize drug use. Just so you know, that's not what we're about. So if anyone hasn't heard, I was a heroin addict for 6 years, and I've been clean since February 28, 2023. So 3.5 years. Sorry, got some in my eye there. But yeah, it gets easier and easier, guys. It really does. Things become more enjoyable. I mean, hell, I'm playing video games completely immersed. Not a single thought of drugs goes through my mind. I'm just completely immersed in my new game. 3.5 years, wow, that's great. That's a great accomplishment. Thank you very much, Solid Tank. 6 years seems like a pretty quick run. Well, I've heard that someone once told me that after 5 years you're screwed, but I don't believe that. I don't believe that because I'm not screwed. I did it for 6 years, and all that time went by in such a blur. It feels like wasted time, wasted money, and wasted health. I've fucked up my veins. My teeth used to be absolutely perfect, and the enamel is eroded. But I learned a lot, and I don't think I would have the same amount of compassion that I have for like homeless people and people on, you know, addicted to drugs. I don't think I would have had this amount of compassion if I never had that experience. But still, I would have rather that I didn't do that, you know? I would rather that you know, that I would have never said yes when someone offered it to me. That wasn't wise on my part. You know, I was at a point in my life where I just wanted to give up. And it would have really behooved me if I had, you know, a good support system when I was kind of at my lowest. It really was. Oopsie. I gotta organize around here, guys. Good God. They can fix all these things eventually, even teeth. Well, I hope so. Yo, I heard that there's this thing. I forget exactly what it is, but needless to say, it makes it so that cats live longer. And I'm like, hell, man, you need to make one for a dog, because I'm a dog person. There are more dog people than cat people, I'd argue. Actually, I don't know. Maybe there's more people allergic to cats than with dogs, it seems. Let me see. Let me look this up. Like, how do they even figure this out when, like, you have so many, I don't know, these types of statistics. Like, it's not like you can ask everybody. Let me see. Are more people cat or dog people? Globally, dog people outnumber cat people in terms of households, but the total populations depend on the region. In the U.S., dogs win by a landslide. There you go. Shando's an all-American dog, too. With about 65 million households owning a dog compared to 46 million owning a cat. However, cats are more popular in over 90 countries, including much of Europe and China. Yeah, I figured that. Let me see. I think it's like a little chip or so, no, they mess with some type of like hormone that the cat that makes the cats have a tendency to get cancer, and that's what kills them eventually. Like ultimately, I think I kind of just skimmed this the other days. Let me see if I can find the article. It was really interesting. I wish I would have read the whole thing. So cats living longer. Medicine, I guess. Is it a medicine? A groundbreaking injectable drug designed to treat chronic kidney disease. It was kidney disease. Cats have a tendency to get kidney disease or kidney failure, and that leads to their death, apparently. A groundbreaking injectable drug designed to treat chronic kidney disease in cats has been filed for approval by the Institute for AIM Medicine in Japan. By helping cats clear waste from their kidneys, this experimental therapy could significantly extend feline lifespans and is projected for release as early as 2027. So it's probably going to be expensive as hell, but they're coming up with a drug that might make your cat live a lot longer. In fact, I think the article I read said 30 years or something, like twice as long. Why don't they come up with one for dogs though? I guess they figured that out though. Reddit. Have you seen this piece of news yet? Japanese scientist Dr. Toru Miyazaki, like the cartoonist, artist, has developed and is currently testing a vaccine that treats chronic kidney disease and could double the lifespan of cats. The vaccine is predicted to be available by 2025, and he plans to lower its price to make it as available. Well, they said 2027. Make it affordable and accessible. Oh. He plans to lower its price to make it affordable and accessible as possible to all cat owners. I need my glasses. Sorry. Pain in the butt. Hi, Daniel. Hey guys, I have a cat with kidney disease. She was diagnosed just a couple months ago. I'm sorry, cyanide. Well, man, it would be cool if they had this right now so that your cat, maybe, I don't know if like they can actually treat it once the cat has it. It's like an injection. My cat lost weight and died from fatty liver. I'm sorry, Elon. A cat's liver can't process fat? I see. I wonder why dogs don't live as long as it. I mean, you'd think it might be something similar. Let me see. Longer medicine. Okay. Ooh, lifespan in extending drugs for dogs are currently in late stage clinical trials. So they're actually working on one for dogs. Thank God. With the first conditional FDA approvals expected soon. The leading biotech company Loyal is developing multiple daily pills and injections designed to target the underlying biological drivers of aging rather than treating age-related diseases individually. Wow. What it is. Okay, it's like a pill. For cats get an injection, dogs get a pill for some reason. A daily beef-flavored pill always has to taste like beef. Aimed at senior dogs, 10 plus years old, weighing at least 14 pounds. Oh. Well, it's called Loy 002. Okay. Interesting. Oh, weighing at least 14 pounds. Well, Shando certainly. It's got to be a small-ass dog. 10 plus years old, weighing at least 14 pounds. Huh? What? You can't have one of these for a large dog? I'm gonna have to look more into this. That's interesting. I mean, that's weird. What it is, a daily beef flavored pill aimed at senior dogs 10 plus years old weighing at least 14 pounds. Huh. And Shando's 100 pounds. No, he's like maybe a little more than that. Wow. It's still probably 5 years or more away, I'll bet. Yeah, there, it's the trials. So, and by that time, Shando is gonna be, I mean, he's like a 100 to 105 pound dog. Typically, dogs that size will live between 8 and 10 years, unfortunately. I'm really, I'm really investing in that dog's health because I love him so much. And he eats whole foods, and it's not because, it's because he has food allergies, and he can't have dry dog food, apparently. He gets scabs and bacterial growth and itching, and it's not good. So all that is, he had so many scabs on his body, and they're all disappearing like magic now. Just saw the art on Instagram. Awesome stuff. Thank you, Jack. Hey, Kurt. Can you sing me happy birthday? Yeah, sure, Samantha. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Samantha. Happy birthday to you. And many more. Hi, Eric. Hi, Anthony. Hi, Chris. Hey, Joshua. Hey, I just wanted to say that you are very beautiful. Thank you. You are awesome and you matter. Thank you, Justin. Thank you. Thanks, Daniel. You guys are too kind. That's what's up, Corey. Yep. Hey, online user. Hi, hey, Too Sharp Penta Wayne. Jesus loves you. Woo, woo. Lovely prayers. Boom, boom. Casey Salas. I'm homeless, 37, for 13 years, and I'm doing all right. Drinking some Dr. Pepper, laying down watching this. Well, I hope you're doing good, KCS. I hope the weather is clement for you and that you're that you have good things to eat, I hope you have access to things that you need. I remember when you were acting all weird and Shando bit your ass and you cried. I wasn't acting weird, Johnny. Come on. I wasn't acting weird at all, man. He was a little bit food aggressive, and it was that one time. And it wasn't like food, actually. It was it was a weird wrapper or something. I didn't really see it, but I just, I went over to see what it was. I'm like, I was thinking about like, oh, I should offer, like in the back of my mind, I'm thinking I should actually offer him something first, but it's like I acted before, like I just acted too fast, and I'm like, Shando, you shouldn't have that. I just went like near him and it shook me because that's not the way he is usually, But he's better about that, man. Like I've kind of he's so much better about that. I'll come over and I can like kiss his cheek and caress his jowlage and his dewlap while he's eating, and he lets me do that, It's just been, he's just a puppy. He's learning. Madame, from where are you live? Well, I'm from America, North America, Pacific Northwest. You gotta be the alpha of the pack in his view, and stand your ground when he's good aggressive? Absolutely. Absolutely, man. You know, it's not, I don't cry because I got hurt feelings per se. It's more the shock of it, you know? I guess it's just a little bit of hurt feelings, but it's mostly shock, I think. Because it's like intellectually, I understand what's going on and that he's, you know, uh, one thing I did wrong, which I corrected, and it's done him and me a lot of good, is when I see him with something he shouldn't have, I don't go running after him, chasing him down for it. Because then he sees that as a threat, you know? So I try to use positive reinforcement. I'll go into the kitchen, get myself a piece of ham, and I'll start eating it in front of him. And he'll immediately drop whatever he has to go have whatever I'm having. If he doesn't drop it, and I'll tell him to drop it first, just so he knows I want him to drop it, and that if he drops it, he'll be rewarded. If he doesn't drop it when I tell him to, I'll eat the whole thing right in front of him. And, yeah, try to find something else. I'll wait a little bit, then I'll get another, like a piece of cheese, and eat that from him. He always drops it, usually. He always drops it, but that's the whole plan. I'll date anyone I have chemistry with and who I get along with, who I have a like a kindred spirit, soulmate connection. I have to have a thing for them, just as they have to have a thing for me, man. And you know, race isn't like a huge thing, you know. It's like, I mean, I don't know why people ask that kind of question. Also, I know it's kind of like, even if I said that I tend to prefer like white guys or Asian guys or whatever, you know, some people would think I'm like racist or something, you know. Apparently, just like people think you're fat phobic for having preferences for skinny people, you know. There's no such thing as fit phobic, even though fit girls often get called men, right? Michelle McDaniels, she's a fitness YouTuber, and she, you know, she talks about how people criticize her and put her down for having muscles, you know. It's okay to be some things, but like the body positivity movement, it doesn't apply for skinny people. And they call us the skinnies like we're some, you know, bad group of people. It's just weird. It's so weird, man. You know? People should just want to be healthy, you know, so that we can move around efficiently and do things and feel good about ourselves. And, you know, it's... God, you gotta be careful about what you say, I guess, but I think it's validation. It excuses people to live however they want to live, even if it means, you know, not living the healthiest of lifestyle, and making it so normalized that people find it attractive and preferable, you know, and that's just not the way our human brains work. We gravitate towards, we're attracted towards healthy. People aren't typically attracted to people who are emaciated, just as people aren't typically attracted to people who are morbidly obese. But why am I even talking about that now? Tangent. You know it. Hi, my name's Anne. What if he was the... I don't care, man. I really don't care. What? I don't know why you're asking me that question, man. I don't know why you're asking me that. Also, just so you know, just so everybody knows, and I know for some, I don't know, maybe my audience is cool, except for the trolls. Kidding. But Just because you're not attracted to a particular race doesn't mean you're racist, okay? Having a sexual preference doesn't mean anything. It's kind of like, I have a tendency to be attracted to guys with aquiline noses. Kind of like, like Adrian Brody, you know? I tend to be attracted to lanky guys. Tend to be attracted to, like, guys with brown hair. I tend to be attracted to more defined angular features. I don't know. It's, but I guess it's also possible for me to become really good friends with someone and to become kind of connected with them, just closer as we get to know each other. But that would be granted that I'm in a situation where, I'm friends with some guy, and unless I'm in college or part of some group, that's got to be kind of hard to come by these days. That's why they say it's harder to make friends and stuff when you're older. I mean, we have dating websites now, and I've tried them, but I get catfished a lot when I try that, and I end up being around, coming across really, really desperate guys, and that is a total turn off. It's like, you just know that if you say it's not going to work out, they're going to cry, or they're going to get mad, or pout. Usually it's pouting, and then as soon as they get home, they send you a long text message telling you, what a bitch you are and stuff like that. It's just like, okay. Hi, John chapter 3 verse 16, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whoever believes in him should not perish but have everlasting life. That's what's up, man. You're attracted to the Hawktula girl? I was just thinking about emulating her, but I'm not gonna do that. What is my caste? I don't know, man. I don't have a nose fetish. I just like certain features. I find them attractive, and they all go together. If you have like a kind of like a round face with a nose like Adrian Brody, you're gonna look like the Jack in the Box guy. A little bit. No offense to anyone if they happen to look like that, but I like it when things are proportionate. Adrian Brody has kind of like a upside down triangle shaped face, and he has almond shaped eyes, and he has an aquiline nose, and I like that. It looks good. I don't think he'd look good with luscious lips. I don't think he'd look good with a particularly round face, and he wouldn't look as good if he were stocky. Everything just seems to go together, What do I have planned for the rest of my week? I was writing down a to-do list. I do have things I need to do. I'm gonna play video games, and I'm going to clean the house, and I'm going to check my emails, and maybe search for a job. I mean, I consider this a job. This is absolutely a job. In my painting, I'm gonna, now that my painting's dry, and it is so hot, I'm gonna finish that tomorrow. I'm gonna finish that, and I just had some ideas for how I wanna add the detail. It's like you discover new things, and you're like, holy shit, I can't believe I didn't notice that before. Like, for instance, I think that his red robes are, like, the values are too similar to the background. Just the tone of the red is similar to the blue tone in the background in terms of, like, darkness. So I want to make it so that his red robe stands out a little more. Maybe add some brighter red highlights to that. Make things pop a lot more. Let me show you. Let me show you how it's looking so far. See? And that's the red robe. I think I'd like to make that just a little bit brighter. You know, make it really pop against that background. But yeah, I'm liking it. I'm loving the gold there. And yeah. Goblet as well. Just want to make it pop, make it glisten. Gonzo. What's wrong with my shoulder? What do you mean? What do you mean what's wrong with my shoulder? Nothing wrong with my shoulder. I don't see anything on my shoulder. Absolutely nothing's wrong with my shoulder. I'm gonna look up Gonzo though. Adrian Brody looks like a Gonzo. Like Gonzo journalism? Gonzo. Oh. It's the Muppet character. Holy shit. That's mean. That's mean. Yo, he's not that ugly. I also think that John Hurt from Alien, the guy who the alien popped out of his chest, I think he's hot. He is in 1984. I'll show you what he looks like. He's also my favorite actor. Definitely my favorite actor, man. And I think young Harry Dean Stanton from Paris, Texas is hot. Let's see. John Hurt. There's something about John Hurt's eyes. I think he's so beautiful. You know, he's also in Harry Potter. He's the wand maker from Harry Potter. I didn't know that. I didn't even know that, like, for the longest time. He is so versatile. And his voice is like, it's the most beautiful voice I've ever heard. It's like nicotine sieved over moonlit gravel. Okay. 1984. Let me show you. Let me show you. Such a good movie. Actually, Let's see if I can find it. Yeah. How about Alien? There we go. That's John Hurt. John Hurt. Ooh, I remember to switch the mute back on this time. There's John Hurt. Young. There he is when he's old. There he is when he's young. There he is when he's old. Wow, he aged like fine wine, I must say. So good. So good. My favorite horror movie. I can't. This dude said, is this gonna be on ice? And you, girl, got very strange taste in the guys you think are attractive, which is probably why you are currently single. Wow! So since I'm not into Giga Chad, since I'm not into Brad Pitt, conventionally attractive guys, you think that's why I'm single? Really? You know that much about me? You're a dipshit. That's stupid. There are more average-looking guys than who you think I should be attracted to. You know, there are more guys I'm attracted to than who you think I should be attracted to, more than likely. That's so stupid. Well, this isn't a dating site, guys, just so you know, in case anyone's forgotten. Wow. I think some men just get really triggered about this sort of thing. That's why they call me dude. It's why they, tell me I'll always be single. It's why, stuff like that. It's because they are lonely themselves. They have had either bad experiences with women or they can't get a woman, aka incel. So they're resentful and they gotta go bully a random woman online and tell her she'll never have it in order to feel better about themselves. Because they know maybe they're having weird fantasies about me. Like, why are they even here? Why are they here to tell me these things? But they know they can never get me. And they're mad about it. Who knows? Could be wrong. But it's interesting. It's interesting to say the least. A lot of ignorant men ignore them. Absolutely. Hi, Carol. You're out of their league, so they hate. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, ma'am. That's what I'm thinking. And I don't mean to, be an arrogant person or anything like that, but, it would be disingenuous for me to say, that to deny what everyone's actually thinking, They're it's so unattractive, man. You wanna never have a girlfriend? Well, you're doing the right thing. Wow. Hateful. Clark Kent, we know who you are. Stop playing with us. Being single for 7 years, and that includes all things related, I wouldn't want to post not in a rush to find Mrs. Right. Yeah, and I'm not in a rush too, because I would rather stay single my whole life than end up with someone I don't love for the rest of my life, or who doesn't love me for that matter. I want a kindred spirit and a soulmate. I want to grow old with them, man. And I know that exists. I see it. And I've loved before. I've been sincerely in love with someone. But unfortunately they weren't right for me because just an age gap. And also they were homeless. But I actually thought they were the most beautiful human being in the whole world. And I painted them and I drew them a lot. And they were my best friend. It was completely platonic. They were my best friend. But it made me learn a lot, and I also learned what really loving someone unconditionally really feels like. I gave them my all, man. I gave that person my all. I wanted to help them. But it took a lot out of me, I must say. And I want to make sure I'm not even on Suboxone before I meet someone. I don't want to be on Suboxone. I don't know, maybe that's not that important. I am down to just one strip now, by the way. Instead of the 3 they had me on, which is good. Yeah. There's that. I just, 3 years is a lot to an addict, but in the grand scheme of things, it isn't. I've heard of people relapsing after years of not using, of being clean. And I'm not saying that I'm going to relapse, but I just want to make sure that I'm completely and utterly out of the woods before I have a relationship. And also, maybe none of this stuff is relevant because whoever I meet in my life, it's going to happen par happenstance. And that's really, I feel like that's the only way to really go about it, to make it last, It's the only way you can really figure out whether or not it means something, whether or not it's meant to be, I think. I need to be less of a recluse, because that's just kind of how I am, It's interesting. You know, people are going crazy thinking Asmongold has a girlfriend. I don't think he really does. And I'm not saying that because I want him or anything. I'm saying that because if I'm not mistaken, I think he debunked the myth. I'm not sure. But he's very charming and endearing when he's around women, I think. I think a lot of people think he's misogynist, but he's not. However, I do think some of his audience is. Some of his fans definitely are. You know, they just make really, you know, I understand, like, criticizing libtard, woke, white women. They're too many, and they're an embarrassment in my opinion. I agree with him on that. But you got people in the comments basically saying that all women are just too emotional to be allowed to vote and shit like that, you know? It's like, we don't all think that way. Come on. But I think but the thing is, I was going somewhere with this. I was about to say that people are just being real assholes towards him when they find out he has like a girlfriend or a potential girlfriend. Like, his fans don't, some of his fans really don't want him to have a girlfriend, you know? Or they start, it sounds like they're calling him a simp now because he's friendly with women. Like, they expect him to just be nasty towards women or something. They expect him to, you know, just to be completely indifferent to the idea of engaging with women in general. And I'm thinking that's because those guys are jealous. A lot of them are probably incels, and they probably think that Asmongold's like that when he's not. And they don't feel seen anymore. They don't relate anymore. They see he has a girlfriend, now he has something that they don't have. And it triggers them. I don't know. I could be wrong. I could be absolutely wrong about that. But it's like, why are people mad about him finding a relationship with a good woman? All of them are assuming that she's a gold digger. Well, not all of them, but a lot of them assuming that she's a gold digger, even though she's rich as hell in her own right. Or, you know, her family's rich and she's got her own content or whatever. I forget exactly what she does, but she makes a good living. Okay, so she's not chasing his money. You know, it's like, why not wish the guy happiness? You know, no one wants to be lonely. You know, I feel like he's had bad luck with women. It would be so nice to see him with a girl who treats him right. You know, who's not a. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Yeah, people are just after a reaction. Hey, Drew, can I educate you a little bit? Women have Adam's apples too. They're just smaller. And this isn't an Adam's apple that you're seeing. This is just a skinny ass neck. Whatever. Yeah, I don't have I mean, I do. It's just so small you can't see it. I just have a skinny neck. Well, what do you expect for me to be like this? I don't know. Like, do you expect me to have no definition whatsoever? Like, dude, how do I do it? This is just a neck. What the hell? Oh, you got some real triggered guys over here, don't we? Guys who can't get a girl, so they have to go online and insult random women. How pathetic. Why can't people treat women like people instead of objects? Yeah, I know, right? I know, right? Why can't we stop generalizing about a specific gender? It's annoying. It's annoying and weird. You know? There are good women, bad women, good men, and bad men. You know? Just because I was mistreated by my ex doesn't mean I think all men are going to be like that. It's crazy. You know, just because there are a ton of woke, white, liberal women doesn't mean all white women think that way. There are plenty of conservative or leaning conservative or just common sense, non-political white women. Plenty. It's just those women are loud as fuck. And yeah, I mean, if you look in other places where you have liberal protesters, you'll find a lot of boomers, way more boomers than young people, you know? And there are a lot of young people kind of, you know, seeing it for what it is, although a lot of people are disillusioned now because of how the Epstein files are going. I don't blame them. I don't blame them one bit. I'm pretty disappointed in that myself. Science states women don't got Adam's apple because for lower... Let me look this up. Let me see. Let me look this up. I think women do. They're just smaller, but let me look it up. I'm pretty sure. I'll eat my words if I'm wrong, though. Do women have Adam's apples? Yes, we do. Yes, women do have Adam's apples, scientifically known as the laryngeal prominence. It is a lump of thyroid cartilage that protects the vocal cords and the larynx. While it is universally present, it typically protrudes more in men due to testosterone-driven growth during puberty. In men, the cartilage plates meet at a sharper 90-degree angle. In women, they usually form a wider 120-degree angle. Oh, interesting. Huh. So you got a sharper 90-degree angle, I got a 120-degree angle probably. Making the feature flatter and less visible. So I got a much flatter Adam's apple, and it's going to be less visible. It's not going to protrude as much. It's kind of like a stratovolcano versus a shield volcano. I have a shield volcano, and men have stratovolcanoes. However, anatomical variations occur naturally, and many women have visible Adam's apples. Yeah, I've seen women with visible Adam's apples, and these days I'd feel very sorry for them because people are going to constantly assume that they're trans, you know? People are going to constantly assume that they were born male because of an Adam's apple, you know? Absolutely. Absolutely. Especially if they happen to be tall. Just, you know, I think it's important to regard the pelvic region, the pelvis. If you have a wide pelvic bone, pelvis, then you're probably a woman. Some men have wider than average pelvises, though. But if you were to dig up my body 1,000 years from now, an archaeologist, you'd be able to determine that I have 2 X chromosomes immediately by the mere width of my pelvis. You can see that, oh, this person has birth-giving hips. There you go, it's a woman. What are the odds? Well, Will Dumbfuck is very, very triggered. Let's get rid of him. What an asshole. Yeah, don't worry, I got rid of the spammer. I don't really have any of I don't see any of the mods here today. But it's okay. We're gonna have a relatively shorter live stream. In fact, we'll just keep it running probably for maybe another hour, maybe, and that's very generous. I don't think it's almost like a human experiment, those weight loss drugs, you know. Like Ozempic, I heard you have to be on it forever. Otherwise, you're just, you're just going to gain all the way back. You'll lose a lot of muscle volume, so muscle mass, and it's gonna, that completely kills your metabolic engine, and you'll just end up gaining more weight than you had before. But yeah, I don't know why you're bringing that up. Are you just assuming that all skinny people are on Wegovy or Ozempic or some shit? Which, that's really stupid, by the way. Skinny people have always existed. I know. Crazy. I know. Unbelievable. What? Kelly Clarkson shares sickening bathroom confession. Going to be single until I'm dead. What the fuck? Why? What does this have to do with a bathroom? That's weird. Okay, anyway. Random! Some are lacking brain cells and it's showing. That's right. Education time. Looking like a deboned chicken wing. Wow. I know, right? Oh man, people are mean. I lift some weights sometimes, but I think it's good to be healthy. I think it's good to have energy producing muscles. You know, it lets me run faster for longer periods. It ensures that that I stay lean and healthy well into my older middle age. And if some guys are triggered by a woman with a little muscle, then they got issues, I must say. What the fuck is really going on? It's just got a really weird chat tonight, don't we? Whoever thinks this is a woman is sure lacking brain cells. Are you trying to get me to show you my unmentionables in order to prove myself? You're really stupid, aren't you? I have a female voice. I don't look or sound anything like a man. And you know, I really, you're disgusting, Jordan. Bye-bye. You're not welcome here. Anyone else? Yeah, I second that. Just ignore those comments completely. Will lead to more interesting conversation. You're right. You're right about that, Chief. Thank you very much, Astrofight. Hello, hope your day's going good. God bless. God bless you too, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, fuck the haters. Some guys in this chat just need to grow up. Yeah, they do need to grow up. They are acting like they're 10 years old, aren't they? Thank you for the gift, Brandy. People be disrespectful, I know, right? That's the thing. That's the thing. There are gonna be trolls. People are gonna comment about the trolls. I'm gonna try to avoid it. It doesn't make me lose any sleep. Meryl Streep. I'm losing Streep. It's par for the course, guys. It absolutely is. And if I didn't think I could handle that, I mean, I knew what I was getting myself into. And I know it gets worse. I know that there are YouTubers who get way worse than I do. YouTubers who have millions of views, they get full-blown death threats on a regular basis. You know? It's not like I want that, but it is what it is, right? I mean, if you're going to be in the public eye in any sense, in any scenario, you're going to have haters. It is par for the course. You know, I know where I stand. I know that I'm right, and I know I can be wrong. That doesn't take away from my credibility as I try to inspire other people to get clean from heroin or to persevere in their sobriety regardless of what drug it or whatever it happens to be, you know? I know where I stand, and I know that, like, for instance, if I start talking about politics, all they do is throw insults at me. All they do is call me names. They can't come up with a sound, reasonable argument. They don't come up with anything thought-provoking. They don't ask me any good questions They don't tell me why I'm wrong, even. They just come out and with the insults, you know? It's like people call Asmongold like misogynist and racist all the time, and he's not. He absolutely is not. You know? He's pointing out statistics on a graph. You can look it up, you know? But you gotta be careful because people are overly sensitive these days and take everything personally, and they think everything's all about them, you know? I don't, you know, I don't like it when people make generalizations about women, though. And just as much as I don't like it when people make generalizations about men. That drives me nuts. You know, when people act like all men are bad, that drives me nuts too, just as much. I just think it's weird and stupid. Mm-hmm. His video on the IRGC is next level. I don't know if I've seen that, to be honest. I'm gonna write that down and watch it next. I like to keep little notes while I'm doing this. I just wish that, and he's right about this, but I it's an embarrassment to me as, you know, the thing is, people would call a girl like me like a pick-me, which is disgusting. If you think outside the liberal box, then you're a pick-me. If you're not into modern feminism, then you're a pick-me, you know? Just like guys who are good to women are considered simps. Women who are good to men, or, you know, fair, both sides, they're called pick-me's. It's disgusting. Yeah, it is bloodthirsty, so be prepared. I know, right? There's always exceptions, but it is embarrassing that, like, there are so many white liberal women in the Democratic Party responsible for all this, all the identity politics and bullshit. Like, it makes it seem like we're all desperate to be victims. We're all desperate to be some type of minority because we feel guilty for being privileged. So you gotta find some way to be disenfranchised or make it seem like you are. You know, oh, all of a sudden I'm non-binary, or all of a sudden you got a whole list of, yeah, you have a whole list of pronouns on your profile now. Yeah, now you see you gotta let me get away with anything now. Otherwise you're racist or homophobe or whatever. Man, I just think that is, there's something special to be said about that. It is in and of itself discriminating, you know. Like, DEI, hiring for people based on their skin color, is just intrinsically racist in and of itself. Why some people don't seem to understand that is just beyond me, man. It is what it is. Should be hiring people based on their qualifications, not just because you want to use them as your token. People using black people as tokens, or gay people, or whatever, you know? Whole list. They're used like tokens because white people are guilty over something their ancestors did hundreds of years ago. And it's like they're enforcing all these laws, the Democrats, at the expense of women's safety, women's rights, which is ironic because I thought they were all about women's rights. Now they're all about letting people decide that they're trans so they can transfer to a female prison. All they gotta do is put on a wig and say that they're a woman, and they're allowed to go to female. Thank God we have Trump because we're not having that. But if Kamala had won, you would have had that. You would have had it where, okay, so Jim gets sent to prison and he's like, oh, he understands just how like woke everyone is and like he's gonna get away with this. Puts on a blonde wig. I'm a woman now. What are you gonna do about it? Okay, you get to go to female prison. You get to be Sally's bunkmate. Poor fucking Sally. You look at his record. You look at the records of all these people who want to do this, who want to transfer to a female prison, and guess what? It's all SA. It's all SA against women. Really. Wow. You think someone who actually was a trans woman would do that to a woman? You think that? It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable how gullible, how selfish, and how evil people can be. I think that's evil. Yeah, let's get rid of this idiot. Yeah, Republicans do care about prisoners. We don't think... I think you're living in the past. I mean, the parties have changed quite a bit. Republicans are more like 90s Democrats now. That's basically what Trump is. And Democrats went from... I mean, really, now it's the Republicans who care about class issues. It used to be the Democrats who cared about class issues. You used to stand for good stuff. Remember Occupy Wall Street back in the day? That's when the Democrats were good, man. And before that, you guys were, the Democrats were all right. I was a Democrat for 10 years. And it's shifted to identity politics and Islamic subjects and policies and politics. And it's gotten to the point where women get thrown under the bus. People like Democratic leaders, the police force in the UK couldn't care less if a white woman gets raped on the street. Hassan literally said, I literally saw him say this in a video. Hassan said that it is better for white Christian women to get R-worded than it is for other races of women. He said that. He said it was better for someone like me to get R-worded than women of different ethnic groups or religions or whatever. And that's sick. And that's sick. He's pro-terrorism. He thinks it's good for women to be R-worded. And it's happening all over Europe. It's happened here and there, but not. I don't think it's as bad as it was in Europe or is in Europe. Yeah, destructive empathy, precisely, man. Destructive empathy. I want to see how they define that, because I've heard that term before. It's like having so much empathy. It's like kind of like being so open-minded that your brain falls out. You know? Passive empathy. That's something like I learned about that a long time ago. Passive empathy is where a good example would be you're passing a homeless person on the street. And your thought is like, I'm sorry, but you just kind of walk off, like you don't want to think about it, makes you uncomfortable. Deep down, you might be thinking, thank God I'm not that person, you know? It's like you feel sorry for the person, you pity them, in a sense that like, but you're not really gonna do anything about it, you know? You're not gonna express empathy, it's just sort of gonna be like, I feel bad, but what can I do? Might as well move on. Which everybody does that, you know? There's nothing one can do. And that's the thing. We're all, most of us are struggling with money. Can't just go around. I mean, if I gave money or to every homeless person who asked, wouldn't have any, because there's so many down here. Not here, but you know, in Portland. Yeah, it's too. I mean, if for instance, if I get a pack of cigarettes, the moment I walk out of that convenience store, someone comes and asks me for a cigarette, and then another person asks me at the next block, and then another one. Anyone down there. If I'm smoking cigarettes and they see me doing it, they're gonna inevitably come up and ask any. The whole pack would be gone by the end of the day. No joke. It would be, if I were to give to everyone who asked, you know? So you gotta kinda, you know, gotta be tough, I guess. Maybe look something up. Mm-hmm. I don't smoke cigarettes anymore. That's why I vape. Hi, Chris Max. Yeah, I had a valid point. Well, thank you. Hi, Ann American. I'm an American Ann, too. I would imagine some believe the anti-Republican rhetoric, but if you really look into things, both are bleeding us dry financially, yeah. Yeah, I know there are issues on both sides, for sure. For sure. But, the Democrats are the ones who are promoting having terrorists here. And letting people from cultures who are just fundamentally anti-American replace our culture, replace our American culture. And also, I don't get why people act like Americans and just white people in general can't have a culture, you know? And you're not allowed to be proud of being white, yet, like, because it's considered racist. Like, you have to be ashamed of who you are, and yet all other races are allowed to go around and say, like, how proud they are of being who they are, and there's nothing wrong with that. But why are white people still being treated like we're evil, you know? You're supposed to, they want us to all have our tail between our legs forever. For instance, there's this video of a white woman, and she's outside in the rain. She's just laughing in the rain. That's all she's doing. It's like a 3-second clip of her just singing in the rain, laughing in the rain. She's happy about the rain. I don't know, maybe it was a dry spell. But then it cuts to this clip. It's a black woman, and she's commenting on this. And she's being like, she's grinding her teeth. She just has so much, like, contempt and hatred in her face. And she's saying, how dare this woman think she has a right to laugh, has a right to dance outside, has a right to show herself happy when she's a white woman. Like, white women aren't allowed to express happiness in public. There are people who actually think that. I mean, come on. If that's not the most racist thing I've ever heard, I don't know what is. And people act like white people are the most racist. In fact, we're kind of the least in a lot of ways. At least these days, you know, at least this century. You know, I've seen, like, you know, I mean, I've seen, like, black people being racist against Asians, for instance, you know, or against each other. I mean, the Officer Tatum, he has a good head on his shoulders, and he's able to very articulately talk us through all this shit, all this bullcrap. Hi there. Oh, thank you. Any recommendations on the Oregon coast and must-see spots? Oh, well, you know, we have, if you want to go to Portland, we have Powell's Bookstore. It's like the largest used bookstore. I love that place. It's a vibe. And I think in the May, I have to look this up again. I think it's early May. We have the cherry blossom trees by the waterfront. And they're very pretty around that time of year. Again, I'm a recluse. I don't often visit all the hot spots, but okay, so in Portland there's this place called Living Room Theaters, and it's this movie theater where they give you full-blown glass plates with actual food, and I think you're able to like drink wine and like eat steak in the theater. It's pretty cool. There are lots of like nature trails. Let me look it up for you, actually. That'd be a better way to go about it. It's been a long time since I've been on vacation. I like the coast. I like going to the coast myself. Indian Beach is a good one. Rockaway Beach, Seaside. Those are some good places, man. I love the ocean. Let me see. I got each. Let's see. Hot spots in Oregon. Eugene is a nice place. Okay. It has this underground river called the McKenzie River. And there's this pool, this big blue pool I've been to called Tamalich Pool. Let me show you what that looks like. I have a photo of 21-year-old me there. Let's see. That's okay. It's a hot. Let's see, Tamalich Pool. Oh yeah, and Cougar Hot Springs. We got some cool hot springs. This place called Cougar Hot Springs, where we have these terraces for the hot springs, right? And as you go higher, I think it gets cooler. And as you go to the lower terraces, the hot springs are hotter. And right next to it is this babbling stream that goes out to the river. And I went there on my birthday once with my then boyfriend, and it was so nice because it was February and you had snow melting on the logs, and yet like you were just you could just feel so good in those hot springs. And when you got too hot, which you would in some of the warmer ones, you could go down to the stream and cool off and then jump back in. It's so much fun. But Tamalich Pool, man, it looks like, yeah, it looks like this, guys. This is, let me see. This is Tamalich Pool right here. I found some cool necklaces down there too. I still have them. That's what it looks like. I might be able to show that to you. Ooh, I have it right. I think I have it right here. Yes. This is one of the necklaces I found there down there by Tamalich Pool. We were the only ones there. You can jump from the cliff down into the pool. It's a nice deep pool. This is the necklace I found. Isn't that cool? It's really pretty. Let me see. Yeah. Isn't that pretty? Yeah. Don't feel like wearing that right now. It's too hot. I don't like things around my neck when it's hot. Freedom of speech. I shouldn't offend others unless their happiness provides some feeling of envy. Yeah. There's a phrase that caught my attention and describes modern society, specifically in the USA. Offended by everything, ashamed by nothing. Precisely. Precisely. Exactly. Exactly. And that they're the whole mentality that they have now is you oppressed us, now we're gonna oppress you. They assume we're just like our ancestors. You know, every single culture, every single one from across human history, throughout human history, has oppressed one group or another, has enslaved one or more groups. Every single one has skeletons in their closet. And to act like white people are the only ones with those skeletons, to act like white people, did I just say women? I mean people. To act like white people are the only group that have enslaved people is very ignorant and not correct at all. Hot springs are marvelous. I do not look like Owen Wilson, dude. I don't want to be mean to Owen Wilson. He seems like a sweet guy. Today's society, but I don't have his nose. I'll just say that. Today's society is described as one phrase. Oh yeah, I just read that. You are marvelous, always on top of your game. Thank you. Well, of course our ancestors aren't something to scoff at. I'm not scoffing at them. And also, that, you know, people make the mistake of thinking that everyone was the same. You know? Like characters from a movie or something. Those are the bad guys. The whites are the bad guys. You know, not all of them enslaved people. Not all of them thought that way. And there were plenty of, like African Americans or just African people who have actually enslaved their own. It's just, it spans across all cultures. It is just, it's not fair, especially since we're not doing that now. No one's doing that now. It's like they're trying to keep it alive. People want to be victims. They want to be victimized. That's why everyone's putting all these labels on top of their profile. Like, you know. Did you guys ever watch that video, that little clip where this guy is in New York and he's obviously trolling, but everyone's too, I guess, low IQ to get it. But he's trying to get through this jam-packed train. He's trying to get out, and he's like, "Excuse me, everyone. Excuse me. Coming through. No one's moving. All right. I'm trans. I'm bi. I'm black, I'm Hispanic, I'm Islamic, blah, 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 blah." And they all move like the parting of the Red Sea like magic. Can't we just all be civil to everybody? I mean, to me, that isn't just like racist or, I don't know if there's a term for it, but like anti-straight person. It's not just that, it's also kind of discriminating and racist against the people that they claim to be defending. You know, it's racist against the minorities they claim to defend. You know, like I mean, for instance, if I were anybody, doesn't matter if I'm pink and purple polka dots, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit what someone's color is. But it would make me feel bad if people gave me special treatment just because of the color of my skin. You know? People acted like I'm a victim. It's kind of like, it's just sickening to me. They're really the racist ones. For example, when Kamala Harris tried to appeal to black men by saying you'll get free weed, she's stereotyping them right there. Acting like all they like to do is sit around and smoke weed. You know? I don't think they even realize it. It's like it's the white savior complex. It's embarrassing. I love Owen Wilson. He is a national treasure. but I don't think I look like him. People like to label everyone inside a box like theirs is no more, has no more individuality to think for themselves. Yeah, absolutely. We're living rent-free in their heads, but we're not thinking of them. We're just trying to go about our days and survive life. You know, I don't choose friends or whatever based on the color of their skin. If I were a business owner, I wouldn't hire people based on the color of their skin, but that's what the Democrats are doing. In the UK, it's anti-free speech. You could go to jail for free speech. And you have it where, I mean, there's this video where you have the cop car parked on the curb watching this whole thing go down, and you have a gang of people, and I don't know what their nationality is or whatever, but they're obviously immigrants, and they're not white. And the guy they go and they're ganging up on and attacking is a white boy, like a teenager, and they're beating him up. They're like a gang, and they're beating him up. And the cops are watching this, the UK police. You know, as soon, like, this guy's just trying to get away for his life. He's trying to run for his life. And as soon as he manages to break free from it, and the cops get out of the car at that moment, that gang runs away. The whole gang of young men, they run away, and the cops just, like, bash this guy against the wall and, like, start hog tying him, like, or you know, handcuffing him, and it's like when they make him get into the cop car, they like force him in there, and he's not even resisting, and he did nothing wrong. And there are at least 3 instances where this has happened in the UK that I can think of, like that guy who got stabbed. And immediately the UK police, they're handcuffing him, they're making him bleed out more than he is, and they're believing the liars saying that this guy was the perpetrator. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. This stuff shouldn't be continuing. The Democrats themselves, they've become so racist. They have. And they don't even realize it. You think they're social justice warriors, but they're not. They're causing more division. Remember when when color didn't really matter at one point? Maybe it was like late 90s, early 2000s. Like, people could just get along. People, you know, it didn't matter. Really? I mean, of course you had certain, you know, people here and there who weren't very nice, you know, to people of other races. But, you know, I think we've had that throughout the entirety of human history. People have been tribal here and there, you know. But now there's this whole culture of tribalism in America where it's like everybody, it's like either you're with us or against us, you know. Unless you have your tail between your legs, then you're just a racist if you're white. Unless you live in shame because of the way your ancestors were 200 years ago, then you're a racist, apparently. If you point out facts and statistics which are demonstrated on a graph, then you're considered racist. If you have common sense, then you're considered a bigot. It's unbelievable. Ooh, someone's mad. I know, right? Charlie Kirk was a role model and one of my heroes. I know, right? He was a good man, and they lied about him constantly. They continue to lie about him. They continue to put words in his mouth. He was the complete opposite of all these accusations. Like, they call him racist, they call him all these things, and he's definitely not. And they definitely wouldn't care. In fact, I think it would go against their prerogative to actually watch some videos and take in the whole context. Because then it would prove them wrong. And they definitely don't want to be proved wrong. They don't care about the truth so long as they can shove their dogma down your throat. And it's like, no, you gotta think and believe whatever I believe, otherwise you're a terrible person. It's emotional. There's no logic to it. Yeah, Charlie was a good man. I like the stream. Thank you, Owen. Yeah, killing Kirk was a stab in the heart against us and against the new conservative revolution. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And it's a reflection of how violent the left is getting too. You're seeing this a lot, and you know we've had a few violent ones, sure. You know, someone said this. People, you know, a lot of people don't like Republicans, but a lot more people don't like the Democrats these days, and a lot of Democrats can't even recognize their own side anymore. They're disillusioned. They're taken aback, astonished by how fast and abruptly things have changed. Again, from class politics and class warfare to identity politics and Islam. Wow. And in all these situations where women are threatened, they don't give a single rat's ass. Or children, for that matter. Yeah, well, I think that with guns, there should be better vetting in general. I don't think that people who are mentally ill should immediately be given a gun. But yeah, that is a little mess. Blair White, she's trans, and I love her. I've been watching her for years. She's one of the ones who, like, one of the people, one of the influences who really woke me up. But she's trans and she has a whole collection of guns because she's got to protect herself. You know, you got a lot of people who hate her, treat her like she's a traitor to her own kind, just like some people act like I'm a traitor to all women because I'm not an idiot. Anyway, I'm not saying all Democrats are idiots. I know that there are some good, level-headed, just want to go about their lives, disappointed in their own party at the moment Democrats who don't support terrorism, who don't support illegal immigration. I know. It's crazy because they're not the loud ones. They're not the ones being given a platform, you know, on TV. The media is really loud. 99% of it is owned by the far left, which is just crazy. And it should make people think. I like John Fetterman. He's the only Democrat who makes sense. He's the only Democrat with a head screwed on tight. Abso-fucking-lutely. It's frightening to know that the president is protecting everyone left and right. Even when he receives criticism, he's saving them and they don't realize it. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, it is a Frankenstein monster for sure. The left has just become too radical for most in their party now, and they'll be leaving to become independent rather than join a communist party. Precisely. Precisely. That's what I'm saying. He's old school Democrat. Yep. And I respect that. I like that. In fact, that's why I was Democrat before for 10 years, because that's what I was on. That's what I thought they were. I thought it was like Occupy Wall Street and stuff like that, but no, not anymore. It's lost. Completely gonzo. Yeah. It's terrible. It's sad. It's really a pity that they'd let themselves go like that, you know? So out of touch. They can't... Don't they realize what they're doing wrong? Oh, no. It's systematic. It's it's tactful. What they're doing, what these Democratic leaders are doing by letting illegal immigrants come in, they're they know that these people will rely on the system, and that they're gonna vote for the Democratic leaders, these illegal immigrants, because the Democratic leaders are the ones who are gonna let them in, let them do whatever they want, give them free housing, give them free healthcare, give them free everything, free handouts everywhere, while hardworking Americans are struggling, getting evicted, homeless, suffering. They know that these people will be reliant on the system and that they will vote for them, and that's why. They're using them as vote slaves. Exactly. Concise. Exactly. How can people believe their own lies and use them as propaganda? Corruption. Money laundering scam. Lots of scams. Low, yeah. Minnesota, LA, and granted, this happens all over the place, but the thing with Nick Shirley exposing all the scams in Minnesota and LA, that's all easier for the average American to digest. He's opening a lot of people's eyes. A lot of it is kind of, it happens in a lot of places, but these examples are a lot easier for a lot of people to understand, to get. It's out there in the open. It's blatant. You know, Nick Shirley comes up to one of these places where you have all these Somalians, and they have this place called a daycare center or a learning center, and they spelled learning like leering. They spelled learning wrong at the learning center. He goes over there, hey, can I drop Joey off at the daycare or learning center or whatever? And like a whole bunch of Somalian men come out. No children. No, it's snowing as well in Minnesota, so and you don't see any children's footprints or anything. A bunch of men come out, and they're just all violent towards him and aggressive, and they're like screaming over him, calling him racist. You're here because you're racist. And he's like, has nothing to do with race, has nothing. This is just like the Democrats too. This has nothing to do with race. I can assure you, this has nothing to do with race. We're talking about fraud. We're asking you about the fraud, and they're just like, racist, screaming, just fucking yelling and screaming at this guy. And that was just about every place he encountered. Every place he went, he just went there to ask them a question. Hey, where can I find the transit center or whatever, that's supposed to be on this block, at this very address? There's no, I'm not finding what I'm looking for. And they're like, they won't give him any, honest answer or nothing. It's just, you're just here because you're racist. It's like, wow. Who behaves that way if it's an actual place where you're gonna drop off your child to go play with Jimmy? Wowzers trousers. Hi, Ganchi. Hey, Incredifunk. Hi, Shady Boy. Yeah, it's not a loophole. It's blatant fraud. There are loopholes out there. There are certain ways that people do fraud. There are legal ways and there are illegal ways. And granted, I don't understand very much about this stuff. I'm just learning it, to be honest. But yeah, apparently there are legal loopholes, which are maybe not ethical, but they're legal, apparently. And then you have, people who are just committing fraud outright, illegally, stealing money from the American public through deception. And, let me look this up. see if I can find a better definition here. Difference between legal fraud and criminal fraud. The fundamental difference between civil legal fraud and criminal fraud is who brings the lawsuit and the penalties imposed. Civil fraud is initiated by a victim to recover financial losses, while criminal fraud is prosecuted by the government to punish the offender with fines and imprisonment. So with civil legal fraud, who files? The victim, individual or business, acting as the plaintiff. Goal: to recover financial damages, obtain compensation, or rescind a contract. Burden of proof. Burden of proof. The plaintiff must prove the case by the preponderance of the evidence or clear and convincing evidence, meaning it is more likely than not that the fraud occurred. Penalties never involves jail time. Penalties are strictly monetary, often including compensatory damages and sometimes punitive damages. With criminal fraud, who files? Local, state, or federal government prosecutors acting on behalf of the public. Goal: to punish the wrongdoer, deter future crimes, and protect society. Burden of proof. The government must prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt, a much stricter standard than in civil court. Penalties includes incarceration, probation, severe fines, restitution paid directly to the victim. A single act of fraud can actually result in both. A victim can sue the fraudster in civil court for their money back, while the government simultaneously prosecutes the fraudster criminally for breaking the law. Let me see. Gibson Law Partners. So, defining criminal and civil fraud cases. Let me put you guys over here. Defining criminal and civil fraud cases. Fraud charges can result in a broad range of offenses, including financial crimes involving insurance, policies, credit cards, bad checks, mortgages, and wire transfers. Additionally, business owners who knowingly omit material information about their company during a sale can be accused of false representation. The primary differences between criminal and civil cases are criminal fraud. These are actions deemed illegal by state laws or federal statutes. I feel like I'm saying that word wrong. The state or federal government prosecutes the accused, seeking penalties such as fines to punish the behavior. Civil fraud. Civil cases involve disputes between private parties, aiming to resolve conflicts and provide remedies such as monetary awards allowing victims to recover losses due to deceit or misrepresentation. Maybe kind of like paying someone to keep quiet. That might be an example, maybe. Civil fraud can also involve enforcement proceedings by government regulatory agencies. In cases where there are criminal charges, defendants can also find themselves the subject of civil proceedings, either by regulatory agencies or by people or businesses harmed by their actions. Civil proceedings can occur regardless of whether a defendant is convicted of a crime. It is also not uncommon for a civil... Okay, just read that. Seems like there'd be a lot of examples. Most people don't want to play political identities and just want to live their lives. Amen. Amen. and we wouldn't have this much division. But I'll tell you what, regardless, if I had never talked about politics in my life, one of my relatives, I won't mention the name or how they're related exactly, but they interrogated every member of my family to determine whether or not they voted for Trump so that they could ostracize them and cancel them. And even if you were to say, I prefer not to say anything, I prefer to keep it to myself, keep it private, they would ostracize you there. To them, silence about that would have been an admission of guilt. Like you should feel guilty for voting for Trump. And some people in my family didn't say anything, and they got ostracized by this person. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. There was really it was just an interrogation. You're bad or you're good, you know? If you're only good if you think like me. If you vote for Kamala, then you're a good person. If you vote for Trump, you're evil, bigot. It's so wrong. So when I said, I posted a video on Facebook, my Trump derangement syndrome video, where I talk about it and I tell people like why I've come to the, viewpoint that I have, why I'm leaning conservative now. I got all these accusations. I got called so many names. I got slandered. And my family member, before canceling me, completely blocked me before I could ever respond to her, by the way. That's how much respect I got. But she blocked me and ostracized me after telling me that I'm a danger to my family. Meanwhile, you have all these people on the left committing violence. And they're it's complete radio silence from them when it comes to their side committing violence. In fact, a lot of them dance on the graves of the people that were murdered. Unbelievable. Yeah, I am more towards the center. I lean more conservative, but I am kind of towards the center. I'm like halfway between like conservative and center, right there. You got all my respect and from the world for being so brave and speaking facts. Well, thank you, Chris Max. I mean, I can be absolutely wrong sometimes, but thank you. Yeah, of course you did. You live in Portland and the right is told the left are misled, while the left is told the right is evil. Yeah. Well, I think a lot of people on the left, if they're young, they're probably just naive, but it is kind of embarrassing how you see so many boomers. You see so many boomers fighting ICE. It's crazy. It's absolutely insane. I should wear my famous red hat. Well, it's almost 11. We are going to end it in 20 minutes, but okay, I'll do that. I'll wear my red hat. I'll wear my red hat for the last 20 minutes, okay? But I think it'll be a bit of a distraction because we do read the Bible at the end. Oh, I'll wear it for a second. Okay. Hello. That's right, I'm gonna wear both of them. People only believe what they're being fed. So much misinformation being strung around. AI-generated social media posts only intended to divide us precisely. And also, I think that the Democrats made it so that their party shifted. It's very, very intentional, guys. They shifted from class politics to identity politics because they don't want for the people to rise up against the higher classes, the people hoarding everything and fucking the government up for us. They don't want us doing they don't want for us to occupy Wall Street. They don't want for us to fight for class, to protect the middle class. They don't want that. They want to keep us divided. They want to keep us arguing, talking about racism, talking about things that, like, people in America, your average American just isn't racist anymore. But people are, we're starting to become segregated and divided now because of the left, because of the way, because of their identity politics. Everyone's becoming bitter and resentful of each other. People are becoming divided. People can't get along. People have to walk on eggshells. White people have to feel guilty, otherwise we're racist and not good people. They did this on purpose to keep us distracted from the issues of class issues. They don't want for us thinking of that. They had us shift to identity politics to keep us distracted. And, it's crazy. It's embarrassing that people fell for it. It's not just the left, it's the right too. No one says right or wrong. That's what I just said, man. I said the right isn't perfect either. There are some bad actors on the right too. However, most of the violence you see these days has come from the left. We're not promoting terrorism. We're not promoting identity politics, which is in and of itself, and the DEI is promoting racism, whether they want to admit it or not. It is what it is. The right are nutcases, huh? Well, you're probably a Hassan supporter then. I don't know. Like, who could ever stand for people who are trying to make terrorism a thing in America? I think the domestic terrorists are even more dangerous. They should be deported too. The domestic terrorists are a real threat, man. More than anybody. Let's see. What's really frustrating is that you gotta really look to find truth on the internet, because they really try to hide the truth. Again, 90% of the media or so is owned by the left. So surprise, surprise. Let me just confirm that. I'm pretty sure. What percentage, of the left, damn it, the media? Yeah, 80% of working journalists lean liberal or identify as Democrats. Corporate ownership. Major conglomerates such as Comcast, the Walt Disney Company, and Paramount are governed by boards of directors and large institutional investors, making their over All political affiliations strictly corporate. They're fucking liberals, man. Don't tell me Disney is Republican. My ass. You see, they really don't want to tell you the truth. They really don't want to just flat out, point blank, tell you the fucking truth. They're, it goes against their agenda. Democratic and left-leaning audiences frequently consume content from left-leaning media outlets like MSNBC, CNN, the New York Times, and NPR. Well, yeah. I hear a lot of really good things about Ground News. I think they even won like a prize, an award for their unbiased accuracy. Yeah, wow. It's like NPR. There's no liberal media bias. Yes, there is. And you can't tell me otherwise. Fucking liars. Yeah, I think far left is crazy and far right is crazy. Again, like, if you say that you're conservative, they'll immediately assume you're like far right, right? And they say that just to insult you. And like, if someone tells me they're a Democrat, I'm not just gonna assume that they're far left. That's completely different. Those people are pro Antifa, anti ICE, pro Sharia law, in our country. It's like if I went to go live in Turkey, for instance, I would be living like they're living. I would be respecting their culture. I wouldn't try to turn their culture into American culture at all. That's wrong. It's like going into someone's house as a guest. You respect them. You respect the homeowners. This isn't my homeland. I'm gonna, I'm going to respect their customs accordingly. Someone offers me a food item I don't like, but that is super special to them, I'm gonna eat it. Regardless. Even if it makes me gag. Because that's respect. And that, some people probably don't even really have to do that, but I'm gonna try. If I go to a different country, I'm gonna respect their culture as much as I can. Like, I'm being a guest invited into someone else's house. They have rules. I'm gonna abide by them. If they want me to take my shoes off when I come in the door, I'm gonna do that, even if I don't take off my shoes in my own house, for instance. But you have people here creating like these segregated groups, like like the Somalians in Minnesota, for instance, or you could have a whole bunch of examples. That's just one example, because I recently watched that video. So that's the example that immediately comes up into my head. I don't have anything against a particular set of people, but these people want to make our country, they don't want for us to support Israel or to be working with Israel. They want for us to work with them. They want to turn our country into theirs, basically. And they hate America. You see them burning flags. You see them stomping on the American flag. They hate America. But they're the ones who are making the, people who, from those countries, respectively, they're making the people who just want to live regular lives like the rest of us, people from Islam who actually respect our country and want to live like Americans, they're making those people look bad when they did nothing wrong. Just like the LGBTQ community, with trying to make it so that men can decide to transfer to women's prisons because they think they're women all of a sudden. Nice coincidence, good timing, or ruining women's sports, or getting into children and women's spaces in general. They're making trans people look bad. when you got lots of good trans people who just want to go about their lives like normal people, you know? They just want to live their lives uh, as the gender that, you know, that they feel they are. And and I respect that. Like, for instance, it's a social thing as opposed to a scientific thing. If Blair White came into a room, if we were at a restaurant, and I was the bartender or whatever, and someone referred to Blair White, I'd call her she. I would, because she looks like a woman. It would be ridiculous for me to just point over there and assume that's a man when she doesn't look like a man at all. She looks exactly like a woman. So, I'm not gonna misgender someone if they, if I can tell right. I mean, if they look like a woman or if they look like a man, they're absolutely, just, I don't know, a lot of people hate this term, but passing, you know? But if you look like some buff dude who just put on a Party City wig and said you're a woman right there and then, I have a hard time thinking that you're actually legit and that you're not just trying to get away with getting into women's spaces because you're a perv. There are people like that who will take advantage of that system, and those are the people who are making trans people look bad when there are a lot of good trans people. They're just regular people like the rest of us. Blair White talks about this too. It's not fair. It really isn't. Iran regime would love to have nuclear weapons, and leftists are making it easy for them. Precisely. I know, right? But the thing is, those far leftists hate America too. And some of them are saying that women are treated better in those countries and that gay people are treated better in those countries. There's this one interview I saw where a conservative journalist walked up to a gay couple, and asked them, "Do you think you'd be, treated better in a place like," I forget exactly where, but like Saudi Arabia or someplace like that? They're like, "Oh, absolutely." "Well, would you like a plane ticket? I'll pay for it." "Okay." Let me see if I can find. I heard. I saw a story come up about a gay couple trying to live in a Islamic country, and it didn't go so well. Also, did you hear about that gay cruise that tried to go to this Middle Eastern country and they just got turned away? I mean, they were lucky, man. They got so offended, but really, what did you expect? In those countries, it's okay to be trans simply because they see it as fixing the gay. It's ludicrous how willfully ignorant people are, because their feelings will get hurt. Let me see. Oop. Oops. They're really trying to sugarcoat it here. I googled gay Democrat goes to Muslim country. Okay, so they're really trying to sugarcoat this. A gay Democrat traveling to a Muslim majority country must take significant safety precautions. Let me put you guys over here. All right. A gay Democrat traveling to a Muslim majority country must take significant safety precautions, as several nations in the Middle East, North Africa, and South Asia criminalize same-sex relations. To ensure a safe trip, research local laws, prepare necessary documentation, and practice situational awareness. No, if they know that you're a same-sex couple, then you're in danger. That's what they should say. They should tell you flat out that you're in danger, because that's the truth. It's not just, "Oh, you gotta be careful." No. Okay, so let's see. What is this? The U.S. Department of State Travel Advisor. Let's see what they say. Homosexuality carries legal penalties ranging from imprisonment to corporal punishment or the death penalty. There you go. In countries governed strictly by Sharia law. I'll repeat that. Homosexuality carries legal penalties ranging from imprisonment to corporal punishment or the death penalty in countries governed strictly by Sharia law. And they want, I've heard some Democrats talking about Sharia law like we should implement it here. They use the same words. Even in more moderate or tourist-heavy destinations, public displays of affection are generally taboo for both heterosexual and homosexual couples. Okay. Well, I doubt it's the same for gay couples, honestly, over there. Wow. Unbelievable. Wow, protects digital privacy and communication. They're giving you all these tips on how to survive there as a gay person, which is ridiculous. You just shouldn't go there, unfortunately. Regardless of your sexual orientation, you shouldn't go there if you're a woman. Border officials in some conservative nations may search electronic devices for content deemed inappropriate or illegal. Remove dating apps and remove or hide social media content that identifies their sexual orientation or political affiliations before arrival. Use encrypted messaging apps and consider using a secure, empty burner profile or device during your travels. Wow. You gotta maintain a low profile in public. Like, who would want to travel somewhere like that if you had to live like that? If you had to go about like that, if you had to live in fear. Absolutely ridiculous. Wow. Oops. Democrats turn on congressional hopeful after hiding LGBTQ plus views from Muslim voters. Wow. Washington, gosh, they're such hypocrites, guys. They're such hypocrites. They could care less about gay rights, the Democrats. They really could give less of a shit. A Washington state Democrat hoping to unseat a longtime member of Congress, is facing a revolt from within her own party after reportedly saying she left LGBTQ plus rights off her campaign website because she feared alienating Muslim voters. Seattle Red first reported that Democrat organizations were considering their endorsements of Melissa Chaudhry, a progressive Democrat, challenging longtime Representative Adam Smith D. Walsh in Washington's 9th Congressional District after comments she made during an endorsement interview with The Stranger. When asked why her website did not mention LGBTQ issues, Chaudhry replied, "Because a lot of Muslims do not feel that way, unfortunately." Let that sink in. This is why a lot of Democrats are leaving the party. This is why. This is one of the big reasons why. The comments quickly sparked backlash from Democrat LGBTQ plus activists, with the Washington State Stonewall Democrats urging organizations to reconsider and rescind their endorsements of Chaudhry. Oh God, that's her. She. Okay. That explains a lot. They want to implement Sharia law in America. They want to replace American culture American pride with Sharia law. Her comments are disqualifying because they reveal a deliberate choice to hide her positions on LGBTQ rights. They're liars. They're doing everything they can to get a seat so that they can change our laws and fuck around with our American way of life. 110%. Anyone running as a Democrat should be bold enough to stand with our community. When a candidate chooses concealment instead of clarity, it raises serious concerns about honesty, integrity, and alignment with core democratic values, he added. Yeah. These people coming in to influence our politics, to gain a seat as a politician in our country, they're not here for gay rights. They're not here for even abortion. They're not here for, and I'm pro-life, by the way, just so you know. I know some people probably get mad about that, but I'm also Catholic. But anyway, I'm kind of digressing there. They don't care about any other democratic value. They don't care about anything other than turning our country into their country and replacing Israel with Islam. And also, what they only care about our politics as far as it affects the politics in their home country. They don't care about they don't care about anything else other than implementing Sharia law in our country. That's all they care about. That's all they care about. They want to replace us. Ashiofu said that the organization is urging groups to revisit their endorsements because transparency and trust are foundational to the democratic endorsement process. When a candidate admits to hiding key civil rights positions or tailoring their message to avoid acknowledging LGBTQ people, that undermines the integrity of every organization that endorsed her in good faith, he said. Absolutely. Democratic groups deserve full honesty from candidates, and we believe her comments warrant a reevaluation of any support she has received. Absolutely. Well, the Washington State Stonewall Democrats specifically called on organizations that have endorsed Chaudhry, including the 11th, 33rd, and 37th and 43rd District Democrats, to reconsider their support. Yeah, apparently neither Chaudhry nor her campaign has contacted the organization since the controversy was made public. Our position is straightforward. LGBTQ rights are not optional within the Democratic Party. They are foundational, he said. Candidates seeking Democratic support must be willing to champion our community openly, consistently, and without hesitation. You see, that's a Democratic viewpoint I have. I 100% believe in gay rights. But that doesn't... that does not include allowing trans women or I mean, if it's someone like Blair White, that's different, you know? But if it's some dude who just puts on a wig and thinks he's a woman all of a sudden, and you can absolutely tell that he's trying to get away with something, and you know what we're all thinking, then I have an issue. Or the sports, and I've said this again and again, this women's sports, women's prisons, children, leave them alone. That's all I'd ever ask. Otherwise, you do you, man. And most people aren't like that. Most people just want to go about their lives like, you know, normal people. Democratic organizations should hold candidates to the highest standards of transparency and integrity because our community deserves nothing less. The controversy expanded beyond LGBTQ issues after The Stranger also reported that Chaudhry said she intended to run as a Democrat before switching to the Green Party if elected to Congress. The outlet also reported that she asked the information not be made public during the endorsement process. Of course, she's guilty. Wow. That's just crazy. Wow, man. They're a bunch of liars. Okay. Wowzers trousers. Vegan teacher. I don't look anything like the vegan teacher. You're an asshole, you know that? And I'm not vegan either. I eat meat all the time. I'm not the vegan teacher. I stick it up to the vegan teacher. You know what? Sometimes in a few of my videos, I've done this. I swear. I'll eat a meat, animal product heavy meal, and then I'll flip off the vegan teacher. I'll be like, you know, joke's on you, or you know, like, hey vegan teacher, look what I got, you know. I don't look anything like the vegan teacher. I think they're only saying that because I'm wearing glasses and I'm skinny. And I guess any woman in their eyes who wears glasses and is skinny is going to be called vegan teacher. Stupid. I love Marco Rubio. I'm definitely voting for him. Love thy neighbor and mind your own business. Exactly. Unless your neighbor is, of course, an American hater trying to destroy the country. Anyway. Me too. The left has no one to run? What, like AOC? Yeah, she's so fake. She's so phony, man. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Democrats are the party of the triple Ks. Exactly. They are. They sure are. Absolutely. They're the ones who wanted to keep racism alive, honestly. And what they're doing now, whether they realize it or not, is racist. DUI is fundamentally racist. Yeah, definitely. I agree, Chris Max. Marco Rubio for the win. Anyway, it's after 11, guys. I'm going to read some Bible verses, and then we're going to end the stream. Okay? Let's go. We're going to read chapter 5 of Proverbs. No, 4. Chapter 4. Or no. Sorry. Just want to see, which one did I read last? Was it 3 or 4? Okay, yeah. Chapter 5. My son, be attentive to my wisdom. Incline your ear to my understanding, that you may keep discretion, and your lips may guard knowledge. For the lips of a loose woman drip honey, and her speech is smoother than oil. But in the end she is bitter as wormwood, sharp as a two-edged sword. Her feet go down to death. Her steps follow the path of Sheol. She does not take heed to the path of life. Her ways wander, and she does not know it. And now, O sons, listen to me, and do not depart from the words of my mouth. Keep your way far from her. And do not go near the door of her house, lest you give your honor to others and your years to the merciless, lest strangers take their fill of your strength, and your labors go to the house of an alien. And at the end of your life you groan, when your flesh and your body are consumed, and you say, how I hated discipline, and my heart despised reproof. I did not listen to the voice of my teachers. Oh, that's really good now. Shit. I'll do one minute. I gotta get my highlighter. That's a good one. And you say, how I hated discipline, and my heart despised reproof. What the heck? I did not listen to the voice of my teachers, or incline my ear to my instructors. I was at the point of utter ruin in the assembled congregation. Drink water from your own cistern, flowing water from your own well. Should your springs be scattered abroad, streams of water in the streets? Let them be for yourself alone, and not for strangers with you. Let your fountain be blessed, and rejoice in the wife of your youth, a lovely hind, a graceful doe. Let her affection fill you at all times with delight. Be infatuated always with her love. Why should you be infatuated, my son, with a loose woman, and embrace the bosom of an adventuress? For a man's ways are before the eyes of the Lord, and he watches all his paths. The iniquities of the wicked ensnare him, and he is caught in the toils of his sin. He dies for lack of discipline, and because of his great folly he is lost. We'll also read chapter 6. This is a good chapter. My son, if you have become surety for your neighbor, I have a feeling I'm pronouncing that wrong, have given your pledge for a stranger, if you are snared in the utterance of your lips, caught in the words of your mouth, then do this, my son, and save yourself, for you have come into your neighbor's power. Go, hasten, and importune your neighbor. Give your eyes no sleep, and your eyelids no slumber. Save yourself like a gazelle from the hunter, like a bird from the hand of the fowler. Go to the ant, O sluggard. Consider her ways, and be wise, without having any chief, officer, or ruler. She prepares her food in summer, and gathers her sustenance in harvest. How long will you lie there, O sluggard? When will you arise from your sleep? A little slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest, and poverty will come upon you like a vagabond. Yo. That was based. Okay, that was really good. How long will you lie there, O sluggard? When will you arise from your sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest, and poverty will come upon you like a vagabond, and want like an armed man. A worthless person, a wicked man, goes about with crooked speech, winks with his eyes, scrapes with his feet, points with his finger, with perverted heart, devises evil, continually sowing discord. Therefore, calamity will come upon him suddenly. In a moment he will be broken beyond healing. There are 6 things which the Lord hates, 7 which are an abomination to him: haughty eyes, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood, a heart that devises wicked plans, feet that make haste to run to evil, a false witness who breathes out lies, and a man who sows discord among brothers. My son, keep your father's commandment, and forsake not your mother's teaching. Bind them upon your heart always. Tie them about your neck. When you walk, they will lead you. When you lie down, they will watch over you. And when you awake, they will talk with you. For the commandment is a lamp, and the teaching a light, and the reproofs of discipline are the way of life, to preserve you from the evil woman, from the smooth tongue of the adventuress. Do not desire her beauty in your heart, and do not let her capture you with her eyelashes. Kidding. For a harlot may be hired for a loaf of bread, but an adulteress stalks a man's very life. Can a man carry fire in his bosom and his clothes not be burned? Or can one walk upon hot coals and his feet not be scorched? So is he who goes in to his neighbor's wife. None who touches her will go unpunished. Do not men despise a thief if he steals, to satisfy his appetite when he is hungry? And if he is caught, he will pay sevenfold. He will give all the goods of his house. He who commits adultery has no sense. He who does it destroys himself. Wounds and dishonor will he get, and his disgrace will not be wiped away. For jealousy makes a man furious, and he will not spare when he takes revenge. He will accept no compensation, nor be appeased through though you multiply gifts. Very good. All right, let's read 3 more, guys. I read 2 chapters there. I'm going to do 3 verses. Thank you, Chris Max. Don't forget to like and subscribe, everybody. I appreciate your engagement. Hope you guys are enjoying the stream. Hey, Gage. Hey, Corey. These people are constantly projecting, eh? They make assumptions about a random stranger's life when they know absolutely nothing about me or what I've been through or what stages I've been through in my life. It's just ridiculous. Anyway. Okay, how about Hosea, since we don't read that one very much. Chapter 8, verse 1 to 3. Set the trumpet to your lips, for a vulture is over the house of the Lord, because they have broken my covenant and transgressed my law. To me they cry, my God, we Israel know thee. Israel has spurned the good, the enemy shall pursue him. Okay. Two more. Just want to choose some good ones here. Okay, John chapter 7, verse 7 to 8. And as they continued to ask him, he stood up and said to them, let him who is without sin among you be the first to throw a stone at her. And 9. But when they heard it, they went away one by one, beginning with the eldest, and Jesus was left alone with the woman standing before him. And verse 12. Again Jesus spoke to them, saying, I am the light of the world. He who follows me will not walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. And 15. You judge according to the flesh. I judge no one. Yet even if I do judge, my judgment is true. For it is not I alone that judge, but I and he who sent me. I did say I was going to read 3 more, but I'll read 2 more. 2 more, simply because that was 1 chapter there. Read a couple more from 2 different chapters. Okay. Ephesians chapter 1, verse 9 to 10. For he has made known to us in all wisdom and insight the mystery of his will, according to his purpose, which he set forth in Christ as a plan for the fullness of time, to unite all things in him, things in heaven and things on earth. Beautiful. Okay. We'll just do another one from Ephesians chapter 3, verse 14 to 16. So that we may no longer be children, tossed to and fro and carried about with every wind of doctrine, by the cunning of men, by their craftiness and deceitful wiles. Rather, speaking the truth in love, we are to grow up in every way into him who is the head, into Christ, from who is the head, into Christ, from whom the whole body, joined and knit together by every joint with which it is supplied, when each part is working properly, makes bodily growth and upbuilds itself in love. One more. How about 2 more, actually? 2 verses. Ephesians chapter 4, verse 31 to 32. Let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and slander be put away from you with all malice, and be kind to one another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, as God in Christ forgave you. 1 more. Chapter 5, verse 11. Take no part in the unfruitful works of darkness, but instead expose them. That's relevant, isn't it? Take no part in the unfruitful works of darkness, but instead expose them. Expose. Sure are a lot of people being exposed this year. I'll say, that's something worth celebrating. Amen. Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Leo. Thank you, Ajit. Thank you, Robert. Robert. It's pissing me off. Kidding. You ever hear of Marcus the Worm, Robert? If I get a virtual reality headset one of these days in the future, I'll meet Marcus the Worm one of these days. It's a bucket list item. Thank you, Chris Max. Thank you, Gage. Thank you, Shadow Syndicate. Thank you, Demon Lord. I'm the girl next door. Oh, thank you. Thank you, TTV Unspoken. Thank you, Kyle. Thank you for the flower, too. Oh man, Mike got triggered. Wow. I'm like doing all this Googling. He's just like, Wow, what a weirdo. Whoa. Gosh, so many trolls. Well, guys, I really appreciate you coming to my channel, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you, D. Victor. Thank you, Ganchi. Thank you, Foxy. Marshalls. Alessandro. Thank you. Thank you very much. TTV Unspoken. Thank you. Appreciate it, man. Thank you for the donation. Okay. I think my boy wants in. One sec, guys. Let's let my baby in. You guys want to see Shando before we go? Thank you, everybody. Okay, I mean it. Hey, buddy. Why are you quiet? It's dark. Let me turn on the light so I can see you. Oh, that's not gonna work, huh? Come on in, buddy. Come be with your bumpers. Your sweetheart, come on in. All right, guys. Yeah, you want to see him? I don't know if I'm gonna be able to here. Let me see. Okay, maybe I can actually turn on the light. Yeah, baby boy. Hi. You're just a sweetie pie. Aw, okay. I think he wants for me to go hang out with him, guys. So, thank you very much. God bless you. And take care of yourselves. Thank you for the gift. Thank you, Bathy. Thank you, Chris Max. Yes, please like and subscribe. It really helps the channel, and I would love to expand the channel and really make it into something big. You know, I'd love to reach more at, people struggling with addiction, and the fact that people actually come to me in my DMs and tell me that my content is helping them out means a lot. It gives this a lot more purpose than it would ever have otherwise. God bless you. Thank you, Leo. What's my favorite color? Oh my goodness. It depends on what it's with or my mood, but I always liked like greenish blue. Not like I like turquoise, but I'm talking about like more of a dark teal. And I like cranberry red, and I like mauve, like a dark mauve color. Thank you, Chris Max. God bless you. Thank you. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Crypto. Thank you, Chris Max. You're awesome, too. You guys are all awesome. Thank you, Gage Chill Stream Ever. Thank you. All right. God bless. All right. And I'll see you tomorrow. And if I don't see you again, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Okay. I didn't see Evil Dead Burn. No. But I'll write it down and look it up. Is that a horror movie or something? I'll look it up. Okay. Am I vegan? No. What, do the glasses give that away or something? Like, someone called me the vegan teacher earlier. First time anyone's ever called me that. But anyway. I do not look like the vegan teacher. Thank you very much, Chris Max. I find that very triggering. Because she is the most cringe, she's the biggest cringe fest. And her daughter is even worse. I love my meat. In fact, you know what? Next stream, I'm going to make myself something with a big old hamburger patty and eggs on top. And I'm going to eat it with ferocity next stream. All right? I'm gonna eat it very, very violently. I'm gonna be very violent about it. I'm gonna eat it like an animal. And then I'm gonna flip off the vegan teacher. I'm dead serious. Alright? Unce, 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 unce. Okay. See you guys later. Much love. See you soon. Thanks, guys. Hello, do you have a PayPal account? To fleece me, oh my gosh, I love getting cleaned out. Well, Oliver, I put it right here in case you're serious about that. It's at Anne, A-N-N-E, capitalize the A, A-N-N-E, G, capital G. So it's at capital A, N-N-E, capital G, 333. At Ann G 333. That would be my PayPal. It's right, it's pinned right there. I appreciate it, man. All right. Much love. God bless you. Hope you guys stay safe and happy.